Hi everyone, here's a little video for those triathlete overachievers, and you know who you are, and in all likelihood it's most people watching this video. If you love to smash your workouts, if you love to prove something and boost your ego with some really hard training sessions where you beat your targets and overachieve, maybe you even want to show your coach how fit you are and how much you're improving, it's very tempted to get drawn into that mentality. And now and again, you probably will succeed and you'll beat the system, so to speak. But training with intensity discipline is something I'm really keen on people doing. So what I wanted to get across is my top tips for helping overachievers from trying to work too hard and force their fitness along. Okay, so more is not always better is the rule of this story, really. So first tip is work harder on the recoveries. So whatever the workout interval is asking you for as an effort level, what I'd like you to think about is when you take your recovery, whether that's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes or so, try to work a little harder. So rather than dropping off the effort level, if you're running, go into a walk or standstill, maybe keep a strong low zone 2 running effort going. On the bike, similarly, maybe keep the power in low zone 2 rather than allowing yourself to almost freewheel between the intervals. So that will keep the stress on the body. You won't be able to fully clear the lactate perhaps. You won't be able to, the cells in the muscles that produce the energy won't be able to fully recover and do that so well. And so when you start the next interval, there'll still be a little bit of fatigue lagging. And therefore it will keep you honest with your interval paces, and those interval challenges will be enough. There will certainly be sufficient, and the way that you've boosted the session is by going a little bit harder on the recoveries, which will be more for those aerobic gains which we want at the end of the day. Another one to boost your time in zone is to just do an extra rep at the end. So it might have been a workout that asked for 5 by 8, we'll do 6 by 8, or get an extra half rep at the end and do a 4-minute rep after the intervals are finished. And that way you've not exceeded the targets, but you've got more time at the desired workout intensity level or effort level, which is ultimately much more important. That's what we really want to strive for. Another simple thing to do is just add more volume in before or after the intervals. It's a nice thing to do is, instead of just doing a short 5-minute recovery and jumping off the bike, or similarly a short 5-minute jog back to the car, extend the session with a little more endurance at the end. You will be working harder internally because you've already got the fatigue from the intervals in your body. Equally, you can boost resilience and durability, which is something that's being talked about a lot, by doing the intervals after a much longer warm-up period. So at the weekends and when you do have some time available, maybe do 1 to 2 hours of endurance riding before you try to tackle the intervals, and that makes it a whole different beast, really, and something that you might well benefit from when the time is available. Next tip would be to consider just changing the cadence if you're on your bike. So instead of always riding intervals at your preferred or most comfortable cadence, or that range that you feel comfortable in, maybe go in either direction. So drop to a slightly bigger gear, where the RPMs come down. So for instance, if you normally ride quite comfortably in the 80 to 90 RPM range, maybe drop to 70 or 75. That way there will be more of a challenge to your neuromuscular system and your muscles, but the actual interval power and the overall stress on the body has stayed roughly the same, but that will allow you to make the session a little bit more challenging. Similarly, you could raise the cadence again above 90, maybe go to 95 to 100, which is just 5 to 10 in either direction. And I find that's enough to really make the session feel a bit tougher and hopefully gain some more for race day, but without pushing, way above your power zones on the bike. Again, specifically to the bike, what you can also do is spend more of your time doing the intervals in your race position. Again, this can make it much more challenging because we do tend to lose power as we drop onto the TT bars. So we might need to adjust the targets a little bit, but this makes it much more specific to your race day. We'll be activating the muscles more specifically and challenging the breathing while you're in that specific race position, which is obviously very important as well. And the final tip as far as overachieving on your sessions is concerned is just don't, okay? These sessions might be identified as key sessions, but they don't need to be 10 out of 10. I think this is more of an educational side of things, and a point for coaches to bring up with clients is that a session that finishes up at about an 8 or maybe occasionally a 9 out of 10 is probably sufficient to get all the aerobic gains that you're looking for, but just saving that little bit and therefore promoting a quicker recovery, maybe keeping motivation higher and allowing better consistency in training, the ability to bounce back day after day after day. We can all probably put in 10 out of 10 effort occasionally, but we might end up missing sessions and feeling incredibly depleted afterwards. So overall, we can stagnate and plateau and not move forward. So there's my top tips for all those overachievers. I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, you can get in touch. But thanks for joining me today.